We seem to think that movement and action need energy. I have this vision like an acrobat needs a lot of energy to run fast or to perform some extreme physical activities. But you will be surprised that the most energy is actually needed to be still. Most energy is needed and is given in stillness. To sustain stillness in the beginning, initially, demands a tremendous amount of energy. It is much easier for us to act, to move, to speak, to think, to be occupied, than to be still, to be silent. To embrace this moment completely in stillness demands a great openness. We are that openness. We are that space, that energy. But from the viewpoint of the ego self, from our limited viewpoint, this shift of energy seems very difficult. And when the ego tries to be still, it finds it has not sufficient energy to be simply here. And that is the difficulty that you may feel when you try to simply allow stillness. It is the ego that tries to be still and it just cannot. It does not have enough space to embrace everything as it is. So the possibility of remaining still is actually in shifting from the ego self to this openness. And this trial and error, constantly trying and feeling that you are not succeeding, is necessary not because the ego gains enough space eventually. It is necessary so that at a certain point you unlock this possibility of shifting into the space of embrace, of openness. It is the ego trying to be here, to accept, to embrace, to be still, to be silent, and it is constantly failing. Again and again it is failing. But it still tries from the same viewpoint, from the same position it tries to enter this. And it fails again and again. And this is very, very beautiful actually, if you understand it correctly. This is exactly how it is supposed to be. Because at a certain point, the ego has to realize that it just cannot. So it gives up. It gives up trying. And then you realize what it means to shift into stillness. You realize it has nothing to do with this effort that you have made before from this position of I. It is like you are having a dream, and in this dream you are this person that tries to wake up from the dream. And so it does all kinds of things within the dream, in the dream world. It travels from city to city, from land to land. It does all kinds of tricks to wake up. But all that he finds is just another city, another land, another landscape of dream. Whatever he does in the dream, he's still in this dream world. All his efforts lead to some happenings within the dream world. Then suddenly, in the dream, there is the realization that it is a dream. The whole of it, including the person trying to wake up. And this shift is a metaphor to the kind of shift we are required to unlock, to reveal that is possible within us. Initially, we experience this as this beautiful revelation of the possibility of stillness. So at first we try to be still. The I is trying to be still. We as the I, as the ego self, try to be still. And we simply can't. And if our longing is strong enough, then at some point, when the ego realizes it cannot enter stillness, stillness is being recognized. It is initially just a doorway, but it is a very important one, because something very, very essential is revealed in that. We can call it the right kind of no effort. The precise no action. We start to directly realize what it means to embrace completely this now. So if you're having difficulties in entering this stillness, then realize that all difficulties are the difficulties for the I to enter stillness. It is your I that tries to enter stillness. Your mind tries to enter stillness and it can't. So this is perfectly fine. This is exactly how it is supposed to be. At a certain point, you realize that this is not the tool with which you enter. Then it opens up. So that is why when speaking of effort in spiritual endeavor, there is always this dilemma of is effort necessary or not? But this is very mysterious. There is not a definite yes or no, because there is both yes and no. Effort is needed, and yet effort is not the one that brings the opening. It looks like a paradox, but it is not. Opening is happening, but not directly due to the effort. On the other hand, if there was no effort to bring openness, then it could not happen. So that is the paradox of spiritual endeavor. In fact, all of the spiritual journey, or most of it, is this kind of trial and error. It is trying with the wrong tool just to realize that it is the wrong tool. It is moving as the wrong self just to realize it is the wrong self. It is experiencing as the wrong self, as the partial, limited, contracted I self, just to fully recognize and expose it as a false, limited self that is not our true nature. And in fact, it is when this is fully seen and exposed, so fully that there is no interest left, then this shift happens. So don't underestimate the actions you perform that have their origin in this intention to awaken, in the intention to recognize your true self. All your efforts are worthwhile, they are very, very important. On the other hand, never expect a direct result from any of your efforts. It is not in the realm of cause and result that awakening is happening. Effort is necessary, but effort is not bringing any results directly. So, free your effort from expectation. Yet, keep the fire, the longing for truth, intense, and allow it to be expressed through any activity you find suitable, anything you feel like doing to move towards that longing. Do it. Allow yourself complete freedom. There is another thing that I would like to share in this regard, and it is many times the space of stillness opens up, but we cannot register it, we don't recognize it. So that also demands trial and error. It also demands patience, dedication, and sometimes guidance too, because it is so subtle and we are not accustomed to this subtlety. We are trained to perceive gross objects, gross sensations, but that space of stillness has no form, no sensation to it. It is not a thing. And so initially we don't know how to actually recognize it. So sometimes we are moving in the right direction, but there is not enough trust because we are still looking for results. So if you have this intuition that you are moving in the right direction, then you should know that it is perfectly fine if you feel no results at all. Trust your intuition and keep moving in this direction. And if you feel you need guidance, you feel you need more precision in recognizing that which is most subtle, then you are most welcome to write here at lifeatsatsang@gmail.com and share with me whatever you are experiencing. And hopefully we can share together something that will bring clarity. Also, sometimes to recognize a wrong practice is also very important. Sometimes we are putting a lot of effort in doing something which is not the direction of our true self. of its revelation. We are sometimes having certain energetic experiences, and then we want to emphasize them through practice, so we make focus on them. That is a kind of practice that doesn't actually lead us anywhere, and it creates a wrong focus. So identifying a wrong practice is also very important. Usually wrong practice is eventually seen as wrong practice by the practitioner himself, if his longing for truth is sincere, because he feels that this is not the direction. But sometimes it is quite tricky and one may be confused. So it is very important to be very, very clear about it. Generally speaking, the realization of a nature has nothing to do with any objective experiences. Although it is accompanied usually by certain energetic experiences in different stages. By itself, it has nothing to do with any energetic experience. It is the very ground on which every energetic experience can be recognized. So being stuck on a certain energetic sensation is never the way. Trying to make some energetic experience get stronger or influence it in any way is not the direction. Having visions of any kind, having some elevated thoughts is also not the direction. The direction is emptying oneself from any content and recognizing that which is the ground of all content, which is the subject of all content, the subjectless subject, the containerless container. So it is always a journey of emptying rather than gaining, rather than solidifying certain experiences, however elevated they may be. That is not to suggest that you need to resist or reject any energetic experiences or elevated feelings. That is all perfectly natural and beautiful. It just means that you should not make it as a mark of progress, or you should not focus on them and try to manipulate them or make them stronger. Every experience, however elevated, is a passing one. It will always have a beginning and an end. Seeking truth means seeking that which has no beginning nor end, which is absolutely real, unconditionally real, that is always itself. So naturally it can have nothing to do with any passing experience. So we should free the way to recognize that subtlety of our being by not clinging to any experience, any sensation.